Greetings, I am Lies and I use she, her.
And I am Scandal and I use they, them.
And let's play a game together.
Yeah. So we're gonna go to bed. We've done it, so what a day. I should sleep.
Totally sleep.
We're gonna do this now. We shouldn't leave, actually, but we're gonna turn in for the night.
We're gonna turn in for the night.
We're
gonna do whatever they do.
We're gonna do...
And go from Thursday to Friday.
Oh, no.
Still
Time's
in January,
just
though.
Flying by.
It also says January. I'm like, do we move into other months during this game?
We might.
Oh, man.
Time to get to work.
Good morning. I want to get him more snazzy ties.
Get outside. Yeah.
I really do. I'm like, let's get you some ties, sir.
Snazmaraz. Probably just go immediately to the thing started.
Yeah, because we got so many tasks. I'm very proud of how many tasks we acquired.
I know. All right.
And so as soon as we get in there, we can assign people to things.
All right. Cortex control. Here we go.
Yep. We're going to get in there and we're going to assign people to stuff.
Yes.
And they're going to get so much done. It's going to be amazing.
Brilliant. Stellar.
Can you imagine if this brain is at 9.7 for its, output, and it's able to do that much? Imagine how much your brain can do.
Part 2.
Super average Joe.
So I was giggling about going, super average Joe.
Average Joe.
Sometimes that's all you want.
Sometimes that's all you get.
Yes, this is as far as...
What are you? For an average Joe, I'm super.
This is as far as the cookie goes.
Mm-hmm.
This is how the cookie crumbles. This is how the bakes. This is how...
Pasta boils?
No, I mean, you bake pasta. Remember how you do lasagna in the oven? So technically it's a baking and boiling pasta.
Ready to get to work? It's going to be a good day. I can feel it in my waters.
Your...
Waters? A good day. Cortex.
That's us!
Oh, that was... I thought both of them... I thought the first one said Teddy.
The other... No. I was like, that did say Teddy, but this is supposed to be us.
I think?
I'm pretty sure this is supposed
Unless
to
Teddy's
be
talking
Teddy.
to himself.
Ted, excuse me. This doesn't make any sense. I think this would come from Ted. One or the other, these are mixed up.
I think the first one must have been you talking, going, it's going to be a good day. And then us going, a good day? Cortex is still in ruins. Most of our team is dead. And Theon's memories that last 25 years are gone.
This sounds more like... The reason I'm saying Ted is because Ted tends to be a negative shit.
Possibly.
Like I said, he doesn't necessarily appear to be very logical. He just seems to be sort of like, everything sucks!
I was like, I don't know what we're doing, but here we go.
Anyway,
Whoever
so
was
it's
talking.
weird. But sure, it's going to be a good... Yep, told ya.
Yeah,
so that last line. But sure, it's going to be a good day, stuck in this fucking bed with nowhere to go and nothing to do.
Okay, so the first line was me, and then it was supposed to be you responding, but it didn't work.
There are some weird errors in this game. I have to admit, they're very distracting.
And they're very specific, I guess. All right, chill, Ted. How'd you get yourself so agitated all the damn time? All this worrying is going to make Theo's recovery take twice as long.
You make Ted, you mean me?
Yeah, your recovery is shit, bro. You need to work on yourself. Listen, why not let me help? Bring me into the decision-making process, Ted. I know you're the only shareholder, but let's split control of Cortex down the middle. Oh, I don't know if I like that.
You want to share management responsibilities? You want shares and to be a Cortex partner?
Oh dear.
How are you not a Cortex partner to begin with?
Because he performs another function. We just don't know what his function is.
Well, that's... So my brain is like... So... Okay, and again, this is just from what's been read, not what we've had, explicitly said in the game.
Yeah, it hasn't been said in the game
that we
at
have
all.
found. So the thing is whatever you've seen on screen is what we've seen.
Right.
Okay? So we haven't said that this is the conscious mind and this is the subconscious mind. That's only what's been read in the actual description of the game.
Right, the description of the game says that. And that one of them's the subconscious and more emotional instinctual mind.
Right, which emotional instinctual is this guy, and then this is the logic rational, the conscious mind. And I'm going, but that seems bonkers that you wouldn't have your subconscious a part of any of your decision-making process at all. They actually talk about there's a lot of autonomic processes that are controlled by your subconscious mind, and also actually even a lot of your conscious behavior, which you can form habits in your subconscious mind through, is actually controlled by your subconscious.
I say very, very much in the way that if you're super distracted, you can still do things correctly and go, I didn't even realize
I did
done that. Or you only notice that you were doing something like at a job when you make a mistake, and you suddenly go, hang on, wait, and it brings your attention back because it was out of the ordinary.
Right, exactly.
But it seems they're dividing it a little differently this way.
Yeah, as Cortex partner, I'm not sure that's such a good idea.
You might have the smarts, but I know what's best for Theo. Let me steer the ship every once in a while.
That's the trouble, Teddy. If I let you steer the ship, you'll crash headfirst into an iceberg. I am in charge.
I think we already crashed headfirst into an iceberg, dear.
I'm about to say.
Fine, but in the midst of whatever stress-related meltdown you have next, just remember that I offered. Let's wake Theo up.
Okay.
So we don't even get a choice.
We do not. And also, you're correct. Sometimes this thing is up. Like I said, there's weird glitches in this game.
Yeah, sometimes it stays floating and other times it comes up. Yeah. Or at least variations. I don't know if they mean something. I assume they're a glitch.
How goes it, Sleeping Beauty?
It's our friend.
It's our date friend.
I kind of hope so. Are you okay? What do you want?
Jack's back then.
Better, I guess. Did he ask how are you?
I'm actually not sure.
I don't think he asked a question. I think it was sort of like a hi, I'm back again or something like that.
No, it's just, hello, Sleeping Beauty, you're awake again, or something like that. And I'm like, wait, what?
So what's better, I guess?
So maybe what do you want? Because I don't I could have not been paying attention because I was so surprised at the sudden, like, weird, lingering, oh, you've noticed my hand, have you? Like, that was so unnatural.
Band-Aid, yes. It felt like very forced acting.
So, what do you want?
What do you want sounds very cold.
Wow, you really got up on the wrong side of the bed today. Not that you can actually get up out of bed at all right now, but anyway.
Hi. We should use this as an opportunity to find out what's been happening while Theo's been unconscious.
Let's say Jack was useless last time. We're seeing what he knows, though.
Alright. Do I seem any different to you? Last time we met, what's up with your hand? Learn anything about the accident? Alright, let's say last time we met. Like, basically go, hey, I remember a little bit about you, tell me more about yourself, kind of thing.
Right.
As in, before the accident? I mean, I haven't seen you in a little while, maybe 3 or 4 months, maybe.
That's what we learned before.
Oh.
Maybe we freeze.
Oh no.
But there's water under the bridge now, man. Don't worry about that.
Okay. Good deal.
This game is... Huh? What? Comic? What? I missed the whole line!
It did. It skipped the freaking line.
I wish it could go back.
I know I want to be able to go back too, but like
Well, comic, so we're gonna have to pick up the pieces as we go through this. Sounds like the creative difference has something to do with the tension I'm picking up.
I imagine the comic was a reference to the one we learned about in the memory cortex, of just going the thing they did in grade school together.
Right, and then they probably continued to make stuff with each other, but like
Or they had batted around an idea of doing it, when there's time.
Right?
Like, eventually we'll do it. Eventually. You say for 5 years.
Right.
No idea, man.
Why are you asking me?
Holy shit.
Jack was keen to brush us off. I don't think he's given us the full picture here. Maybe just go, what's up with your hand, man?
Well, you're overthinking it, bro. Let's see. Let's go ahead and ask about his hand. Why not?
Sure,
Yeah, it's fine. I cut it on the damn scalpel when I was cutting some comic panels out. It's better than it looks.
You seem really weird about your hand, bro. How about, looks painful?
Hang on. My whole brain is like, do you cut comics like this?
I was gonna say, how hell did you hurt that part of your hand, like the inside palm of your hand, cutting comics?
Yeah, that's actually what I was trying to figure out, and I'm like, well, a finger I could understand a little bit more, but like, I'm sorry, it's a weird thing to get fixated on, but like, as somebody who's fucked up my fingers a lot on knives,
as somebody who has used X-Acto knives and such to cut art things quite a few times, especially back in the day when I was a teacher's aide in art class, like even like cutting rubber with a big box cutter and fucking stabbing myself, it's always in the fingers.
It's always the fingers.
It's always the freaking fingers.
Like, yeah, when you were doing management stuff, we cut our fingers all the time.
When we were in the big industrial job that we both had together, it was like people would have, box cutters for all kinds of ingredient opening and cardboard breaking down and everything. And every time someone got cut, it was their fucking fingers.
Yeah, it was your finger.
It was never their hand.
Yeah,
and,
fingers
we ended up, we had enough incident reports to end up getting PPE or personal protective equipment, special no-cut gloves for everyone's hands. But it was because of the fingers.
Yeah, exactly.
There was no cuts on the hands ever. Do I seem any different? I just go with that one. Be like, so how do I seem?
It's nothing I can put my finger on, but you do seem different, like more thoughtful maybe, like wiser or something. But then again, maybe it's just that bandage, which is a great look, by the way.
Oh, God. More thoughtful, eh? I guess that's a good thing. Maybe quieter because I'm trying to put my thoughts together.
Yeah.
Wow, you seem so much more sage, more organized, less impulsive. That's because my brain is a mess. It takes a really long time to run from neuron A to neuron B.
Right, well, also.
It's no surprise Theo might seem different. The whole of our team died in the accident.
The whole team!
Even me, I died too.
Just so you know.
We're starting up here. We're starting again here. He's going to be different. That's no bad thing. New leaf and all that.
I was pretty happy with the old leaf, in honesty.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Like, I'm actually kind of tired. So fun thing about writing is your protagonist does not have to be likable, but it can. I was gonna say likeful. I'm like, wow, I'm having this everywhere else today. It is actually an interesting way to have some character growth and contrast. Mm-hmm. So again, it's not a bad thing to have a character that your audience dislikes. Now, you do run a risk, especially with something that's kind of new.
Of putting
off your audience or limiting your audience more in that way, but that's not always a bad thing. Sometimes you go, I have a very specific thing in mind, and that's okay.
Yep, and that's what I want to do. I was gonna say, there is a level of going, neither of them seem like they've got like the whole right idea, but the two of them are shit at working together.
Yeah.
And it's clear they're supposed to work together, and that they never have been.
Right.
At least not for a very, very long time.
Right.
You're an old leaf.
Good one.
Alright, well...
Learn anything about it. We have to ask about it all.
Not really. Sorry. Maybe one of your London friends knows more. They've probably seen more of you recently.
No.
It was a bit snarky, wasn't it? I mean, was it?
I mean, he looked away like he was lying, kind of thing. Like, looked out the window, but it also could have been a jaded, like, you haven't been fucking hanging out with me.
Right.
You've been hanging out with this new crowd of whatever it is.
Right. Well, you've been really busy. You haven't spent time with me. The thing is so it's really interesting to try to get into the discussion of, like, what body language means. Because it's not an exact science at all. So you have to be really careful with it, because sometimes people are going, like in this case, so what's really hard about trying to read actor body language is because, one, they're acting.
Two,
they're trying to do
certain things.
Yeah.
They're
so
also
some people
doing...
going, oh, they look like they're really dishonest. You're like, yeah, because they're doing a performance. And even actors, when they're doing PR tours, they're usually still acting, believe it or not, because they're trying to get people to like them, be interested in their movie, be interested in their work, and then continue to hire them.
Well,
like,
and
it's
also,
all a performance.
I'd say there's also a lot of it that is, I'm exaggerating it so you can be sure to catch the cue.
Right, exactly.
Much in the way of when you have like a sort of a mystery show for general audiences.
Right.
They try and make the clues really, really clear, so even if you don't know what they mean, you at least pick them up along with, you know, the rest of the cast.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. And so you exaggerate it to make sure the audience picks up on it.
And there's specific things, so that's why it's like, it's really interesting to watch how people like develop or have their own stories, because you can kind of start understanding genre conventions and what people are doing. Like, even where, so I was actually even going to say, sometimes where people are like, oh, I'm the most unconventional, I don't perform, blah, 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 I hate how this stuff works. A lot of times that's also a performance, too.
It is.
It's a specific thing.
Right.
The spit snarky.
Huh? What do you mean?
Yeah, I didn't really think it was very snarky at all.
It seemed uncomfortable is what it seemed to me.
Right, that comment about Theo's London friends. What's his problem? I really have to say I don't get Ted.
Yeah, Ted, I think, well, I mean, one, Ted is still hurt.
Yeah.
Two, Ted is really overwhelmed with not having to do the responsibilities that he's doing right now. He's never had to repair a brain before. Even if that's part of his job, as a creature, he never has.
Well, and here's the weird question then. Why is Ted the one who's so stressed out, and Ted D really is just kind of like, eh?
It is what it is.
Right?
Because Ted is a perfectionist and a workaholic, just like our kid.
Theo, yeah.
Just like Theo.
Yeah.
And Theo probably is because Ted is.
Yeah. Well, because, you know, it's the inner self reflects the outer self, and the outer self reflects the inner self sometimes.
And then your deeper self reflects something, you know, that if you weren't subject to so many other rules or merits or, you know, pressures of society, what have you, you might be that. Yep. They're just a bit jealous of Theo's life in the city, I guess. They grew up together. Sounds like he's being protective.
I love this tongue licking in the background, going backwards and forwards.
I know,
reel
right?
it forward,
the
reel
short,
it back.
The short little
yeah, maybe.
At the end of the day, Jack's the one here visiting. We haven't seen anybody giving up their time to check in on him. Theo must be pretty tight with London chumps.
I guess that makes sense. I can't escape the feeling there's more to it, though. There's something still bothering me about Jack. Something I can't work out.
Yeah, well, you bashed your head pretty hard, didn't you? No surprise you're not feeling too sharp. Let's continue to work restoring those memory files. Things should start becoming more clear.
Excellent. I guess you're right.
So what's it? Now just
I've been working on this new character for some time now, and now you're back in the land of the living. I want your input.
Okay.
New character? What's he talking about now? Apparently the comic we missed out on.
So, it's for a totally new character. The protagonist for a new series set in the Super Average Joe universe. A brand new hero for a brand new comic.
You said new a lot.
You've got some time on your hands now. Maybe you could start some designs?
Oh, whoa.
Super Average Joe? I've heard that name a lot. What else am I forgetting?
I mean, that's the comic they worked on that they got.
It's okay. Yeah. Okay, so I was going to mention something, and again, this doesn't mean that it's necessarily a bad thing, but typically writing is a lot more lean than what we've run into here, so I've noticed a lot of it, basically aggressive, repeated words over and over and over again.
So I was wondering if that might be on purpose.
I wonder about it too, but I'm also like, it's a little disorienting, it feels a little patronizing past a point.
It's a thing so it's a thing that a lot of people do when they're writing in a hurry,
right?
Because their brain won't necessarily come up with synonyms when they're very excited about a concept, and they'll just use the same word because it works,
right?
I'll say, and then if you don't go back and edit, you end up with a lot of repetition,
right?
And so, a lot of like fanfic has it, a lot of inexperienced writers have it,
right?
And if they're doing it on purpose here, it honestly works well for like the brain damage and stuff, and to make this person like either suspicious or being a little patronizing to us, going, I know you'll need to hear this 5 or 6 times based on what the doctors have told me.
Right.
I say, but it smacks very much of this other thing, so it works less well as a convention because of my experience as a gamer.
Right.
If that's what they're doing.
Right. And that's the thing that I'm trying to figure out exactly what's going on with it. Like, is it just me using all my experience and my expectations for other things? Or is it actually,
an actual
convention?
A device of the game they did on purpose. Yeah.
What else am I forgetting?
You've forgotten Super Average Joe? Bloody hell, Ted, mate. We can't have Theo forgetting this one. Let's ask about designs, because both of us, know who Super Average Joe is. And clearly Teddy does.
Do we?
Yeah, that was the comic they made together as kids
Oh,
and got a grade
right.
a B on because of violence and gore.
Right. B minus.
Sure.
Yeah, something like that.
Just like you did with Super Average Joe, we need those crazy illustration skills of yours to really bring this new character to life. Ah, shit. Yeah, your brain thingy, it's probably made you forget all this. Don't worry, I'll explain.
Okay. Please do.
Oh, this is gonna be great! Let's have him tell the story. Honestly, okay, so I am amused. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just me and the language that I've had with, like, my various friends over the years, or, like, even when I was in school, people wouldn't just be like, so I have this new character! I'm gonna say new character about 6 times. They usually go, and now I'll say their name, like, 1,200 times, rather than just going, and I have this character, and really what I want them to be is, like, this thing, and what, like, you don't usually go, and so the new character this, and new character that, and I'm like, usually I already have a name for them.
And if you don't have a name, you start saying, so the hero. You use a label for them then.
Right, so that people know where to place
So the pro tag, or, that kind of thing. Or so this guy.
But I'm really like, why new character? And again, it could just be a convention, and I know it's weird nitpicky thing, and it might just...
It also might be what we're able to hear and process as a damaged brain. Again, we're working on 9.7% brain power. So this could be our perception of what is happening in the conversation and not really what's going on at all. And that would be rather interesting.
I was actually going to say, you're correct. There's actually a very limited view here.
As well as, again, going like, we're extremely limited in our processing, and honestly, he's a little excitable in the way he's talking.
Right.
So that could really just be like, this is how we're processing the conversation, because that's all we can hold on to.
Right. Please do.
Super Average Joe was our comic book idea, like a decade or so in the making. We came up with this idea when we were like 12 or something.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's this world, right, where everybody is a superhero, powers are just something you're born with. But Joe, right, he doesn't have them. He's like totally average, but that's not a bad thing, see, because there's always a catch, a downside. All powers come with a heavy price tag, but Joe is free of this burden. He might be average, but he is the true hero in this world.
Okay, so what we're hearing is we're doing Steelheart.
Kind of, yeah.
And a little bit of Boku no Hero Academia, and I'm like, so,
So, what do you think?
Honestly, I'm kind of torn because I'm like, well,
If we've been working on it for like 12 years,
It'd
or,
be like-
or we came up with it when we were like 12 or something, then it's a cool concept. That's great for kids.
right? It's a cool concept.
I say it's a cool concept for
But again, like, I don't think it's a bad idea at all. I'm just like, I suddenly realized my brain just went, oh, I just got really bored. Because I was like, what makes it unique, though? Because, like, right now, so obviously, with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, we've also seen a lot of comic book characters overall,
So
and a lot of
here's-
superhero characters
So
in
here's
particular.
the thing. Without knowing the author of this game very well, and without knowing our friend here very well, it doesn't mean that we trust them. If I came to my friend with this concept and I was really excited, I went, okay, let's imagine a world where everybody has powers. I wouldn't call them all superheroes, because superhero is a function.
Right?
Like, just because you have powers, it doesn't make you, one, a hero.
hero,
A hero
right.
is a function.
Right.
And two, it doesn't make you necessarily, like, super, as it were. It's just a power.
It's also, we could potentially play the morality
I
police
was saying,
game with the term
but-
hero.
But if
yeah.
I swung in and I was like, okay, I have this idea where everybody in the entire world has powers, except like this one person who's born as a weird freak, and we're gonna actually like have a disability narrative kind of thing, and we're actually gonna talk about like ableism and stuff like that, and it won't actually be the only person in the world, but it will seem like it because of the narrative at the beginning of the story, and then and then everybody else though, they're all like really powerful in these really different ways, but it all costs them something dramatic. Like they have these really strong limitations, but this person doesn't. They've just got the limitations of a normal person, which makes them completely different than everybody else who eventually sets themselves on fire or accidentally melts into a puddle at a certain point or whatever it is. And my friend would be like, okay, go on.
Right.
I was gonna say, but like, if somebody else says that, you go, and I don't know where my connection is if I don't trust you as a storyteller.
Right, exactly.
And so this is something we're gonna have to connect to. I think cool concept would be fine.
Sure, cool
Especially with
concept.
our brain being mush.
I'm glad you like it. It was your idea, dude.
And you're still into it, and it's not changed for 12 years, I guess?
Uh-huh.
Can't believe you'd forget this, bro. Super Average Joe was born here in Cortex, one of our original creations from back in the day.
Hang on. Your memories are bound to the memory bank just like mine. Why have I forgotten all this but not you?
I literally had it all come flooding back to me just then after Jack missioned it. Do you, not remember yet?
Not yet, no. I haven't been to the memory bank to check any of the newly recovered files yet. How do you know all this already, Teddy? This doesn't make sense. Because the subconscious mind is linked in a very different way.
And again, they talked about how memories can be triggered. And yeah, you got an emotional memory trigger there, not a logical memory trigger.
Yeah.
And so you're going, yeah, I can feel the memory of it, but I can't think about and structure it explicitly.
Right?
Sort of like when someone talks about something and you're going, I know that, but I couldn't tell you anything about it. And
It's
they're
the
like,
adjacent,
okay,
what is the thing? You clean the clothes and do the... You mean the laundry? Yeah!
yeah, it's that thing where I need to wash the stuff you wear because it's dirty. And they're like, you need to do laundry? Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I've done that.
Okay. So, one of our mutual acquaintances at one point was trying to say bathroom, and they couldn't find it, so they're just the toilet kitchen. Because it's the room with the water, and there's a toilet there.
Yeah.
It's a toilet kitchen.
It's pretty good.
You can take that one home with you. I loved it.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Doesn't make sense.
I don't know, Ted. The memory bank is a mystery. Anyway, Joe's great. One of the Cortex R&D department's finest creations. It's all we worked on here for years. Because as a kid, that's about right.
Uh-huh.
And this new character, Mr. New Character.
Let's at least hear him.
Let's at least hear him out, yeah.
Yeah,
Let's do
Mr.
it.
New character?
Anyway, this new character, right? He's called Stargaze. And he has the power to turn people's own thoughts and desires into tangible forms, which he then has complete control over, like this mask-wearing, dream-weaving puppet master.
Huh. Well, that sounds like a good idea. We should get R&D on the case.
Sounds like a lot of effort. You want me to design him?
I feel like in this case we wouldn't be organized to go, that sounds like a lot of effort. It would be like, wait, what do you want from me?
Right.
So what's my part in this?
Right, you want me to what?
Yeah. Because that sounds... Okay, so anybody who's got an incredibly infinite, unlimited power kind of thing that like that requires a massive amount of awareness and creativity to portray based on what you've described it to be. I've never seen pulled off in like I've rarely, not never, rarely seen pulled off well. Because it often ends up sort of like the movie version of Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, where you say the bad guy is extremely dangerous because he can turn into anything he can imagine, and he turns into like two things the entire movie.
Yeah.
And so it suggests that he can't imagine hardly anything at all and is not very creative. But functionally, since that's never mentioned or talked about, it just feels like it wasn't written very well.
Yes.
Now, it would be interesting to go, he can turn into anything he imagines, and thankfully his creativity is like, he's got like 1 point in creativity. So unless someone else suggests it to him, he's not usually going to come up with anything new. And you're pretty good going, do not give him ideas.
Oh my god!
And like the risk is that someone will say some shit and give him a fucking idea.
Right.
And it will be a bad idea because he will interpret it in a less in a less balanced way than someone who's more used to being a creative mind. And that could be interesting. But yeah, so yeah, I think it would just be, it does sound like a lot of effort for sure, but design him?
To design him?
Well, yeah. Well, that's what you do. Just like you did with Joe, you were born for character design, dude.
Okay.
I'm not sure about all this, despite your enthusiasm, Teddy. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Look, let the ideas sit with you. I reckon Stargaze could be big, just like Super Average Joe. And we need to start fleshing out our extended universe. It's going to take a few characters to really kick things off.
You really
I'm
have
also
only
going-
had one
Okay,
character.
But like Super Average Joe, and I'm going, it's going to be big. Was Super Average Joe ever published? Or was it done online for free? Like, was it big? When you say big, do you mean I liked it forever and thought it was really cool? Or
Huh?
big?
Big like Super Average Joe? What does it mean like that? And the question is, big like Super Average Joe?
Yeah, that's me too, going, did we sell this
What?
thing? What?
What?
Did we license it?
What?
Well, I mean, big like Super Average Joe will be, once we get it to a publisher or whatever.
Yeah,
Okay.
there we go.
A publisher? Didn't realize how seriously Jack was taking all of this. I mean, sometimes some people really are just like, here's my childhood project, and oh my god, I am so fucking determined I will do this thing.
So honestly, there have been a few books that I've read. They were juvenile fictions. I was gonna say there's been a couple of that people are basically like. So I have a hobby, I've mentioned it a few times, of trying to identify without looking at the jacket or anything like that, whether or not a book is a first time author. Because I've got like an 80% accuracy on going, this is a first time author. I can tell they're making the first time author mistakes.
Right.
Kind of thing. And you really don't make them even in your second book. And it doesn't mean that like it's a bad thing. It's just there's a clear marker of someone who's not used to writing and is relying heavily on formula to tell the story that is their passion.
Right.
And it's something that I enjoy picking out as an algorithm. It's kind of an interesting hobby. Anyway, so there was one that I picked up at one point, and I do not remember what it was because I've read so many of these, just specifically trying to find that thing. And it was like, I read it and I was like, it was particularly egregious example of, oh my god, this is your first book, right?
Right.
Like, holy shit, this is your first book. And when I went and looked at it, it was like, the author was like, oh my god, I'm so excited about this. I have been writing this story since like 6th grade or something like that. And they're like, and I've just finally finished it for publication. They're like, and they're like, basically I've been working on it for, 12 years or whatever it is. And finally as an adult, I'm gonna, finish it. And they're like, and the great thing is like, I've always had this idea in my head just like this. So it really wasn't a matter of changing anything from when I first wrote it as a kid. It was just a matter of getting the rest of the story out on paper. And I was like, it really did. And they're like, and my publisher helped me, smooth it out a little bit. It was really sweet, and it's like, you really did just pick up this stuff that you'd been writing when you were 12 or whatever, and just keep writing on the end of it, and then turn it into a publisher.
Oh god!
And apparently your first page's last page, your concept was strong enough that they went, yeah, let's do this.
Right.
And it wasn't a bad book, because reading a book by a person and going, oh, this is a first-time novelist kind of thing, doesn't mean that it's a bad book. Again, it's just markers of that thing. Sort of like a child actor. If you're a really good child actor, you can go, there's some of the things about learning how to act.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Dude's got drive. We should be following his example. Oh my god, but we do have drive.
We
We've
do.
just about killed ourselves being a lawyer or whatever.
What
or
are you
partner.
trying to say? Theo's got drive, I've got drive. Might be an advertiser or something like
Yeah,
that.
but you guys drive all the time in the firm company you're in, whatever it is. Perhaps, but that drive has taken Theo down a series of boring roads, and now we're parked up in some rubbish lay-by with no map and a broken GPS. What's a lay-by?
So, have a think about the Stargaze
No
thing.
idea.
I reckon it'd be good to get you drawing again, and it can only help with your recovery, I'd imagine. And then maybe you could leave that boring job of yours, and we can get Kavinsky and Clay Comics off the ground properly. Look, I need to dash, but I'll catch you next time. And also, I'll do some more digging into the day of the accident, see what I can find out. Take it easy.
Interesting. There is definitely more going on here.
Yes.
The wiggly footies.
Hallelujah.
Huh. We should do it, Ted. We should start drawing again. It can only help with recovery. Jack's got it all right, you know?
They do actually say drawing is a very good way of encouraging and increasing your basically hand-eye coordination. My dad actually even talked about it in reference to playing video games. Video games can actually help with that as well. Now, of course, that's not the only thing you want to be doing, but those are things that can actually help you.
Sort of like we've been mixing up the activities here of, yeah, it's really good if you're having trouble with fine motor skills, you can test them with drawing. And I've actually, that's actually something that my mom does, and I've talked about a number of times that my mom's disabled and has memory troubles as well as like some nervous system issues, and she will, to see how well she's doing, sometimes just try and draw something, and then it will give her, when she doesn't have a good emotional sense of how she's doing, it'll give her a good physical reference for it. And I think one of your friends had done that before too and talked about it briefly, going,
No, that was our other friend.
no,
Remember who
they've both done it.
They have done
yeah,
it. Yeah,
I was gonna say it's a thing that like therapists and doctors will teach you, of going, try to draw and see how much physical you have over yourself.
I'm trying
to
remember.
I think they both learned the same exercise via different paths, and yeah, and also drawing to organize your thoughts, or as like meditation or like focus, that kind of thing. All right.
Why don't you marry him then, Teddy? Christ alive. Your head's so far up his arse I can't tell where he starts and you end. I mean, it's fine to be in love with your... Like, is that really a conscious thing? Your mind has actually been rebelling against you because you actually have basically a narrative going on in your own head, going, I've been in love with you, and repressed it all basically down into my subconscious, and my conscious mind goes, that can't be possible.
Because it doesn't fit the narrative of the meritocracy?
And again, I have no clue whether or not that's true. And again, I'm only basing this off of what we read in the description. I'm still kind of confused why it hasn't really come up in the game itself. And I understand not all games really do that, but it's still...
Sometimes I really want to play a game without having ever read any of the description at all, and the only way to do that and actually like be confident this is a good game is to have someone you trust recommend it to you.
Right.
Sort of like we had Outer Wilds recommended to us.
Yes.
And we didn't read anything about it, and we still don't know anything about it except for what we've learned in the game.
Yeah.
And people have been really, really thoughtful on stream about not sharing anything and just going, ooh, what do you know? You know? I was gonna say, but whatever that game is, part of the fun, it seems to be discovering the mystery together.
Right.
And it would be really neat in cases like this to sort of not have the direction of this is what's supposed to be going on, and just sort of try to get a sense of what's going on.
Right. He starts and you end.
All I'm saying is it's not like we got anything better to do. Let's get those creative juices flowing.
Even if I did agree to this preposterous request, we've not got the right equipment. Hospitals don't exactly have an abundance of art supplies. There's too much else to do. Teddy, come on, we've got a job to do.
Yeah, but you could buzz your
drawing
nurse and ask.
is actually helpful.
Oh yeah, and if you do the call button kind of thing, you could totally get them to bring you a pencil and paper or a pen and paper.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
They have no reason to deny you. Again, drawing is actually helpful. And so we could spend all the time doing that. Anyway, so thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. If you like what we do, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and also share our videos. It actually does a lot for us in regards to the YouTube algorithm when you interact with us. Please feel free to go check out our Ko-Fi, Patreon, and our Twitch. We have some links in the description down below, and we'd love to see you in those locations. And I have been Scandal.
And I have been Lies.
And it was great playing with you. Bye!